A man named James is playing with his daughter Hannah. His wife Lily is sitting on the stairs working. James asks Lily if they have enough basil, but Lily is still focused on her work.
I am working on something important right now.
Meanwhile, the couple, Becky and Nick, are driving. Becky receives a strange text that says, "Goodbye, world." As she tries to check it, Nick takes the phone out of her hand, telling her she shouldn't use a phone while driving. He grabs the phone himself, and as he reads the message, he notices that it says, "Goodbye, world." As he is looking at her phone, his phone also receives the same text.
Did you just text me?
Honey, you're holding my phone.
He then tells Becky they're supposed to be on vacation and are not allowed to use their phones and switches them off.
And we're talking to each other.
At a college, professor named Benji is giving a lecture. He was teaching people to be against the system. After class, he gets intimate with a student named Ariel. Elsewhere, a woman named Laura is in a job interview. She tries to convince the interviewer that she's a good fit for the role, but the woman keeps telling her that she's overqualified and ultimately rejects her. As Laura walks out, she tells the interviewer the programming director cheated on his wife with a teenage babysitter. The interviewer responds by saying that he wasn't caught on camera, and Laura storms out.
He didn't get caught on camera, honey.
News reports start coming in that the Goodbye World text is being sent to everyone. Reporters believe it's a cyber attack. Servers are being shut down due to the massive amount of text being sent worldwide.
And many of those phones have actually shut down because of the sheer number of messages they're receiving.
Elsewhere, a man, Lev, is about to take his own life. He points a gun to his chin, but stops when he sees the breaking news on TV. He starts watching, but suddenly the television shuts off.
New York, Chicago, Boston, and...
Back at their home, Lily blasts loud music. James asks her to turn it down. They get into a conversation where Lily tells him he should apologize to Nick for pushing him out of the company they founded. James insists that Nick wanted to sell users' personal information and that what he did was the right thing.
He wanted to sell our users' private information without their...
Trust me, I know.
Meanwhile, Becky and Nick stop to get gas, but the pump is empty. As they wait, Nick starts looking around a sale that was going on.
Just literally a box of cash sitting on a table by the side of the road.
So?
At the same time, Laura boards a plane, but the flight crew announces there's a security issue in San Francisco, so they'll be landing in Las Vegas instead.
Once we're on the ground, our staff will do the best they can to answer all your questions.
Becky and Nick continue driving and eventually arrive at James and Lily's house. After greeting each other, Becky gives Hannah a big stuffed animal that she brought for her.
He can't breathe. He's going to die.
Later during dinner, James tries to apologize, but everyone makes fun of him. Frustrated, he leaves the dinner table.
I think we understand you perfectly. Everything's easier if you get to call the shots.
All right.
The next morning, Becky goes jogging in the forest. While running, she discovers a small house hidden among the trees and peeks inside. Meanwhile, back at the house, Nick and Lily go to the greenhouse to smoke weed. When Becky comes back, she finds Nick, Lily, and James playing a game. She joins them, but Hannah interrupts, reminding them it's time for her daily bubble game.
It's time for the Daily Bubble now!
They all go outside to play with her. While they're playing, Benji arrives with Ariel. After greetings, Benji tells everyone that the world is ending, then casually lies down to take a nap. Later, Benji shows chaos happening all around the world. People are burning cars, riots are breaking out, and there are attacks everywhere.
Holy shit, it's so crazy.
They don't know what the cause is. They listen to the radio to learn what was going on. As they discuss it, Benji suggests that the system was already weakened and now it's crumbling. The group continues to argue about what's really going on.
And even if it is, didn't we all say this would be the perfect place to ride it out?
The airport is chaotic. Laura boards a small plane that takes her alone. After getting off, she starts walking. As she walks, she finds Lev lying on the ground. She wakes him up and brings him with her. They head to James and Lily's house. When they arrive, Becky and Nick are preparing to leave for Miami.
How are you? Where are you going?
Miami.
The airports are closed.
But Laura tells them that the roads are closed. Becky insists on going, but Nick tells her that it is not safe to travel. Later, Laura and James go to the store to buy supplies. On the way, they talk about Lev. Authorities suspect someone hacked the system and is behind the mass texts. James is worried because Lily once had a close connection with Lev, and they used to play hacking games even. They discuss whether Lev might actually be a terrorist but admit they haven't been in touch with him for a while and can't be sure.
She and Lev have some online pissing contest. You gonna turn her in?
Not turning anyone in.
At the store, they stock up on essentials. When they leave, they see two men attacking another man outside.
Get in.
Back at the house, Benji tells Becky he was never invited to their wedding. She reminds him he was in prison. He replies that Nick never came to visit him. Becky sarcastically responds that Nick never got an invitation either.
Well, as far as I know, he never got an invitation either.
Later, the group gathers to watch a TV announcement, but there's no signal. Laura and James return home. Then James, Lev, Hannah, and Ariel go out to play the bubble game with Hannah. Afterward, Ariel takes Hannah aside and James asks Lev directly if he's a terrorist. Lev says he doesn't think so.
Are you a terrorist?
I don't think so.
After that, James takes Laura to the basement to show her his emergency supplies. He tells her that he asked Lev if he was a terrorist and that Lev gave a vague answer. Laura thinks it is bad because now Lev would think that they think of him as a terrorist. To make things right, Laura tells James to ask her the same question.
All right, we're gonna go back in there and you were gonna ask me the exact same thing in front of him.
During dinner, James brings it up again and asks the whole group if any of them are terrorists or have been involved in illegal activities. Everyone laughs at him and makes jokes. The conversation shifts to what they'll miss from the old world when the apocalypse happens.
And everybody say the one thing they will miss most about the old world.
Oh.
The next morning, soldiers arrive at the house. They say everything is fine, but they want to use the location as a temporary base.
You know, this would be a good place for a set-up base, canvass the area.
The group gathers to decide whether or not to let the soldiers stay. Everyone is nervous about it. Lev shows them a gun he has, but Laura quickly takes it from him and unloads it. After a discussion, they agree not to let the soldiers stay. Becky points out that they have the right to say no.
The Constitution is the bedrock of our freedoms. You really should be more familiar with it.
Outside, they tell the soldiers they won't allow them to stay. The soldiers respond by saying that they don't want to force them, but they are free to stay if they want. But Becky interrupts, citing the Constitution and telling them of their right. The soldier decided to search the house, but Becky once again cited the Constitution to show them they didn't have the right to do so.
Acts against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated.
Later, Benji and Laura sit outside smoking. Ariel comes out and calls Benji into the house. Inside, he asks her why she called him. She tells him that she's high and wants to get intimate with him. He refuses and reminds her that the world is ending.
People are the problem.
Doesn't mean we should care when people get hurt.
She gets upset and accuses him of always talking about revolution without doing anything about it.
Everyone likes to make speeches. At the end of the day, they're all just selling something, aren't they?
This angers Benji, and he storms off. James comes to call Ariel for dinner, but finds her crying. She tells him that Benji said she has to leave, but she has nowhere else to go. James gently tells her that she can stay if she wants. Upon hearing this, she hugs him tightly and thanks him for taking care of everyone.
You take care of everybody.
That night, Laura attempts to open Lev's laptop while he's asleep, but she enters the wrong password. The laptop takes a picture of her. The next morning, during an argument, Nick reveals that he is actually a co-owner of the house. Becky is shocked that she didn't know this. Nick tries to explain that after college, Lily couldn't afford to pay the taxes on the house after her mother passed away, so he helped. He also reveals that he and Lily were once engaged. James cuts him off, insisting that Nick doesn't actually own the house. Becky snaps, saying this is exactly how James pushed Nick out of the company, and another argument begins. James tries to defend himself, saying Nick was trying to sell users' data. Becky doesn't want to hear it and keeps arguing.
And you've got a dedicated well and solar power?
Becky, I'm talking to Nick.
Later, Lily and Nick are outside talking about the past. As they reminisce, they suddenly kiss. Right after, Becky comes looking for Nick, and he quickly hides.
Have you seen Nick? No.
Becky asks Lily if Nick had ever given her a ring. Lily replies that he gave her his grandmother's ring, but she returned it. Lily tells Becky she's lucky to have Nick and tells her about her own relationship with James. Then she says James fell out of love with her after Hannah was born.
He wouldn't even notice if I was gone.
I'm sure that's not true.
Inside the house, Laura is presenting a show and trying to entertain the others. After she finishes, Lev gets up and starts telling a joke, which makes everyone laugh even harder. Next, Becky performs a poem. After her, Nick gets up to do a magic trick And then Ariel gets up to sing. While she's singing, Lily interrupts and says that Ariel is ruining the song and starts to sing. Ariel fires back, mocking Lily. This quickly turns into an argument.
Call me a bitch again.
You know, Ariel, maybe you should step outside for a bit.
As the argument escalates, Ariel starts saying insulting things about Lily. Lily finally snaps and tells Ariel to get out of her house. Ariel storms off, shouting that everyone there is boring and she doesn't want to be with them anymore. As the storm dies down, the guys go out looking for Ariel but can't find her. Back at the house, the women gather in the hot tub and talk about their marriages and their husbands.
Does hair grow directly from the balls, or is it just encased in a bag?
When the men return from searching for Ariel, Nick tells Benji that he took his advice and kissed Lily. But Benji reminds him he told him he needs to be honest with himself, not sabotage a marriage. Nick then accuses Benji of never having a real adult relationship and he shouldn't have followed his advice. And they start arguing again.
All right, so don't sit here and start to tell me fire a long time ago.
Later, James tells Lily she's embarrassing herself. As they argue, she tells him that she wants a divorce. James doesn't respond, only saying that survival comes first now.
Not compared to our survival, no.
The next day, a woman arrives at the house. She tells James the soldiers are with them. She also mentions that Ariel is staying with them now. She tells everyone that James has a storeroom full of medicine and she was sent to collect it.
She told us about your storeroom. You should have helped me out the first time I asked.
After her visit, the group discusses what to do. James proposes that they give the woman some medicine, but others, including Benji, argue that they shouldn't hand it over, especially when threats are involved. After all the tension, Benji goes into his house in the forest to take a break. He carries a baseball bat with him and walks deep into the woods. But while he's out there, his leg gets caught in a trap. He struggles to free himself and tries to pry the trap open, trapping his thumb in the process. Back at the house, the group discovers that their storage shed has been raided. They go out to investigate and find the soldiers there along with Ariel. The soldiers had taken their drinks and medicines. One of the soldiers tries to touch Ariel inappropriately, but she fights back. In response, the other, Demon, pulls a gun on her and tries to assault her again. Lev attacks the soldier from behind to stop him. The soldier, now furious, threatens Lev.
Do you want to die?
He then orders James to open the fridge. James hesitates, explaining that the food would spoil if it were removed because it's stored in a temperature-controlled space. But the soldier demands that James pack food for them for the day and bring the entire fridge to their village the next morning.
Box up some of this nice food when you bring the fridge down tomorrow. And I mean all of it.
That night, everyone sits around, worried. Lev returns and confesses that he originally came here after intending to take his own life.
I was gonna shoot myself in the head before I came here.
When they ask why, he explains that he thought it was the right thing to do. But then he saw the news just before the power went out, went for a walk, and reconsidered. When he came back, FBI agents were everywhere. Lev admits that he might be responsible for what is happening now. He sent out the Goodbye World text to everyone all at once. He explains he had been working on a project to create a spam tool for smartphones. It was supposed to hijack the user's address book and send messages to all contacts. However, a virus was embedded within it. Lev became suspicious that something illegal was happening and quit the project before finishing it. Now, when he sent the goodbye text, someone hacked into his computer and used what he built to attack the power grid.
They got that trigger code that they were missing. Probably used it to detonate the attack on the power grid.
Suddenly, Lily confesses that she was the one who hacked into Lev's account, just for fun. Her actions unknowingly opened the way for others to exploit it, and they attached the virus to the text Lev had written.
You opened a very locked, very secure door. Some very bad people walk through it.
Later, Lev sits with Laura and asks if someone is coming to arrest him. She tells him that no one is coming, not anymore. He says she can turn him in if she wants.
I'm gonna turn you in at the first possible opportunity.
The next morning, Becky goes for a jog and finds Benji still in the woods, his finger stuck in the trap. She helps him get free. As they sit and talk, he tells her that Lily and Nick kissed. Hearing this, Becky storms back and confronts Nick. When he tries to defend himself, she tells him not to touch her, grabs the stuffed animal she gave Hannah, and leaves. James then tells Nick that he needs to leave the house, but Nick fires back, saying that maybe James should be the one to leave. He turns to Lily and asks who she wants. James interrupts and says Lily asked for a divorce, but Nick is not getting the house. He storms out. James drives to a nearby village where the soldiers are now staying. They ask him about the food, but he ignores them and tells them he's there to talk to the neighbors. He asks the villagers to side with him. Demon calls James a traitor and begins beating him. As the situation escalates and the soldier pulls a gun to shoot James, Laura appears from behind and stops him.
Please don't do this!
Laura then gives them half of the group's medicine and delivers a speech about unity and working together. On the drive back, she breaks down crying, saying she killed a man. James comforts her, telling her that she saved his life.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
When they return, Laura kisses Lev. Meanwhile, James searches for Lily, but finds out she has gone with Nick. Lily tells Nick she needs to go back for Hannah and James. This makes Nick angry. He tells her that he was always there for her, but she never really loved him the same way. She insists that she loves him as a friend, but says that friendship has to be enough. Nick doesn't want to hear it.
As a friend, that's bullshit.
It's not bullshit. It's real.
When Lily returns to the house, James is crying. Through tears, he apologizes. Lily apologizes too, and they hug. Later, Becky goes to Benji and thanks him for telling her the truth. He prepares to leave, but tells her he doesn't want to say goodbye to her. She decides to go with him.
You sure you can handle a convicted felon?
You sure you can handle a grown woman?
Eventually, the group teams up with their neighbors. They all begin working together to survive whatever comes next. Nick and James made peace. By then, the old tensions are gone, and they start living as one community. They all go out to play the Daily Bubble.
9, 10, 11.